So you want to write a nonfiction book. Hold on. So what's your problem? Now, I don't mean that you have a problem, but what's the problem that you're trying to solve with your book? You see, a lot of people call me and ask me, Damien, how do you write a book? Now, I have written about 7 or 8 books now and published about 5 of them, and I understand the process of writing a book. Now, the first thing you have to understand is that you need to solve a problem. You are a problem solver. There is a pain point in your reader's heart, in their soul, and you need to close that gap. You are the gap closer. Now, if you're writing a nonfiction book, maybe it's a time management book, maybe it's a cookbook, maybe it's leadership. I don't know what it is, but you have to solve the problem in people's souls. With time management, maybe you find a better way where you can do more work in a short amount of time. Maybe with a cookbook, you might be a vegan chef and you can prepare meals in 5 to 10 minutes. I don't know what it is, but you have to solve a problem. Let me explain. When I wrote this book, #completely single, I was a prayer team leader at my church. And as a prayer team leader, a lot of people ask me to pray about different things. Towards the end of that leadership journey, a lot of young adults were asking me to pray for their relationship. So they used to come to me and say, Damien, can you pray for my relationship? And I said, sure, I'll pray for your relationship. Then they will come back and ask me to pray for the other person in the relationship. Then I stopped and paused and I thought about this. And I believe it was a divine moment for me when I thought, why are they continue to come to me and ask me to pray for the other person and really never ask me to pray for them? And that's where this book was birthed. That was my problem, and I had to solve it. And the thing is, when you look at my subtitle, it's learning how to become the right one before meeting the right one. You see, a lot of people want to change the other person, but they don't look within themselves to see what changes they need to make to be the right one. And so that's when I wrote the book, and I wrote that book in 10 days, which leads me to point number 2, do your research. Now, a lot of people are here, 10 days, I can't write a book in 10 days. However, that book was researched for more than a year and a half. As you can see, this is one of our bookshelves. And you must do research before writing your book. So you see our small library. Now, when me and Kenady was writing our book, we were doing our research. We were doing our research while we was writing a book. Yes, the book was done after we were married, but we started the book while we was in courtship, but we were also doing research while we were writing the book. So this is a very important key for you to not just write books, but do your research on the book that you are writing. Also, do some research on the market that you're trying to help. So tip number 3 is pray for a season of discipline. Now, I'm not going to suggest how many days, weeks, or even years you should write a book. Maybe it's 10 days like I did with #completely single. Maybe it's 10 weeks, maybe 30 days, maybe even 10 years. I don't know. But you need to pray for a season of discipline. You need to be disciplined when you write your book. That means you are faithful in writing. That means you are faithful in your research, because there are certain people who need your information. This leads me to point number 4. Pick a day when you like to write. Pick a day. However, on your day of writing, make sure you do not force it. Make sure you don't force it. Now, there's major authors who actually pick weekends to write. And these are some of the top authors in the world. They actually have their own apartment where they outline and write. It doesn't matter if you're big or small, you have to choose a day when you want to write. Now, why is this important? Think about it. If you do not have a day, the cares of the world, distractions, phone calls, emails will take your time of writing. Now, when you pick a specific day to write, you can tell the people in your community that you write on this day so they can stop distracting you and know that you're going to be writing on a Monday or a Tuesday. This is a wonderful way to keep yourself accountable indirectly with the community that you have been placed into. Number 5 is to build your book. So let me show you something. This is a book by John C. Maxwell. And what do I mean by building a book? And so I want you to go to your library in your home and pick out one of your favorite books. Maybe pick out a book that you're going to write in, the niche, the market that you're going to write in. So this is a leadership book. And to build your book, you actually take somebody's book, and this is the cover page. And when you turn in the page, this is a blank page, right? And so you turn the page, there's another blank page, and this is called the title page. And you flip through it, and this is your copyright page and your dedication page. And so this is exactly what you're going to do in your Word document. You're going to take each and every page and build your book out. Now, I'm going to switch over to my computer and show you how this is done. Now, it only takes like 30 minutes to build your book. Now, you will build it out all the way from the front page to the cover page. So check it out. So this is the book. As you can see, there's a title there, How to Build My Book. Also, right under the title, that's where your name goes. I place my name, but again, this is your book. I love how Google Documents has the outline to show you how your book is coming along. But this is what it should look like. Again, you are building your book. So you see here, this is your blank page. Just like the John C. Maxwell leadership book, he had 2 blank pages. I usually just put 1. The editor will put the appropriate blank pages when needed into your final copy. But this is a blank page, and again, that's all we need to say about that. Now, the next page we come to is the dedication page. I want you to look at your outline. So you might not see all the pages on this outline, but again, you just build it out the way you want it to be built out and the way you see it in the book that you are modeling. But this is your dedication page. And on this page, you dedicate the book to somebody or some group of people that inspired you to write the book. Now, this page is the table of contents. Now, personally, for me, this is my favorite part of how to build your book, because this is where my vision actually is placed on a piece of paper or on a document like Google Documents. As you can see, you have your introduction, your foreword, and then the several chapters that you have in mind. Now, all of this can change, but at least you have a roadmap and a vision that will help you continue to write and build your book. After the table of contents, you usually have your acknowledgement about the authors and citation page or even a promo page, but this gives you some kind of vision on how to continue to writing and building your book. Now, as you can see, we did jump down to chapter 5. Now, again, after your table of contents, you want to go in order. So you will have your introduction, you will have your foreword, you might have a blank page, and then you will go into your chapters 1 through 7. But for the purposes of this example, we just wanted to jump down to chapter 5. Now, when you look at chapter 5, within chapter 5, you have 1, 2, 3, and ABC under the 1, 2, and 3. Now, this is for your topics in chapter 5, and then you will have your supporting information. And when you start doing this in each chapter, you will have a book.
Now we have come to the end of this example and we have come to the acknowledgement page. Now, again, this is not the end of your book, but this is the end of the example. Now, with your acknowledgement page, you want to acknowledge the people who have helped you on your journey, some of the people who have inspired you to write the book, and even some of the people who have helped you write the book. This is what goes into the acknowledgement page. But after the acknowledgement page, you might have the about the author page, your promo, and even your citation page. This will be and wrap up the end of your book.
Now, number 6 is probably the toughest tip, but you need to start writing your book. Now, go back to tip number 4. You picked a day already and start outlining your book. Start writing in your book. Research. Tip number 3, research, but you start plugging it in tip number 4. So start writing your book. I hope these small tips helped you. Me and Kenady use these tips to write our book, and I pray that it actually helps you and you start writing your book. We'll talk to you next time. Again, my name is Damien Nash. See you next time. Bye.